be beaming, I be booming down that block. Everywhere you go, you know they know I'm hot.
What's the deal, my good people? Welcome back to the channel. Happy Tuesday. Happy Taco Tuesday. Hope you all are doing well. If this is your first time here, I want to welcome you. Pull up a seat. I hope you enjoyed the content. And before we get into this food, I want to ask that you like, comment, share, subscribe, and go ahead and tap that bell while you're at it, so you're notified anytime I drop a brand new video, go live, or schedule a premiere. All right, y'all. So, like I said, it's Taco Tuesday. Got some tacos. These are breakfast tacos, and they're also cheese shell, low-carb tacos. So, if you're trying to avoid the carbs, if you're on keto, this is for you. All right, let me show you a little closer what my shells looking like. So again, the shells are made out of cheddar cheese. And I did do a quick cook with me at the end to show you how to do it, because I know some folks are like, how do you make cheese shell tacos? Well, I'll show you how to do it. And I'm also gonna let you know what's inside of these tacos too in just a second. So, gotta go with the jalapeno condiment. Favorite hot sauce. I'm also gonna do some Green Dragon hot sauce from Trader Joe's. So I'm gonna alternate between the two. Cause why not? So I'm gonna start off with the jalapeno condiment though. So let me bring it to you guys so you can see it good. This taco's so crunchy. Look, these were tacos too. I had 4 tacos, but I got a little heavy-handed. So they cracked. But I had to make it work. So hopefully y'all can see that pretty good. This is a cheese shell taco. It's a little sloppy, but we're gonna make it do what it do, of course. All right. Can y'all hear the crunch? So good. Y'all, this is so good. I'm a big cheese fan. So having cheese at taco shell, I can't even describe it. It's amazing. So what I have on here are sauteed mushrooms, onions, spinach, eggs, tomato, cilantro, avocado, and sour cream. I know it's gonna get messy, but that's fine. I'm cool with that. And that's what I love about a taco too, because you can put anything in it. So breakfast taco, whatever your favorite breakfast thing is, you can throw it in a taco shell. Whether it's a cheese shell, tortilla, whatever. Just go crazy with it. Cheers to Mom. Today is our 2-year anniversary for Shirley Girl Boutique. Cheers to her. It's our official 2 years. She's put in so much work, y'all. Still working hard as ever. But congratulations, Mom. And we are celebrating today on Instagram. If you are around Shirley Girl Boutique, 5, 7, and 8, there's games, giveaways, all that. I don't think I'm gonna eat all of this, but this is all right with me. I've never used a cheese shell for a breakfast taco, but it's perfect. It is. It really is. And I mentioned giveaways a second ago. I did a giveaway yesterday, y'all. It was random. I didn't even see it coming. But Shout out to Dame Dash, Flavors by Dame Dash. He dropped his Dippin' Dash butter sauce. So I got excited. So I wanted to, you know, share that with y'all. So I gave away 2 of the butter sauces yesterday. So congratulations to C from the C Circle and also to Miss D. Congratulations, y'all. Y'all butters have been ordered and y'all will be getting them soon. So y'all just, you know, follow me on Instagram. Make sure you check out the community wall as well. Because I plan on doing more giveaways. I don't know when they're going to happen, though. That's the thing. It's going to happen. So, and I want y'all to get in and get your entries and stuff in. So, today we are resuming with story time. I'm going to tell y'all about that one time that I was excused from a project. Bye, ma'am. You can go. I'm going to tell you how that went down. I'm going to get to it in just a second. One more bite. And we're going to go there. That don't make no sense. I cannot believe it's cheese. Alright. Let me go ahead and get to it. Well, let me pour my green sauce first. So again, this is Green Dragon from Trader Joe's. I like that's good flavor. It's not super spicy because y'all know I don't like a whole lot of spice. But it has really good flavor though. I love it. And sometimes I'll mix the 2 together. Let me get a little more. So let me give y'all a close up with the green sauce. Got sour cream on the side falling out, but that's cool too. This shell barely holding on, but it made it though. All right, so I'm gonna tell you, this is actually my very first experience in the film industry. Okay, this is how I got my start. So this was 2011, yeah, 2011. In 2011, I had no experience. None whatsoever. And I was dealing with fear because I didn't know where to start. You know, the film industry is very intimidating, hard to break into, and I didn't have anybody else in my life that was doing film. So I just really didn't know where to start. And at the time, it was even hard to get like an internship, you know what I'm saying? Because I wasn't in school. A lot of places required you to get college credit, you know what I'm saying? So I needed to find like a smaller production company or something to get my foot in the door because I didn't know nothing. I didn't know anything. I knew what I knew at the time, and I felt like that books and stuff could only teach me so much. So I was trying to change my mindset about it all, because I was ready to give up before I even started. Because again, it just seemed so intimidating. Like how do I break in? How do I learn stuff without paying a whole bunch of money for film school? Because I also felt like film school wasn't right for me, you know? So I was on Twitter one day and I ran across this guy's page. He had a production company. He had a bunch of short films. I know he was based in LA too because I went to his website. So I'm checking him out. I start following him just to kind of see what he's talking about, you know, kind of get a feel for him before I decide to hit him up. Because let me tell you something, I will hit anybody up. I will email anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. I don't think there's anything wrong with doing it. I think it's all about your approach. Saying the right things. You got to find the right words. You know, you can't come off entitled or rude or short or anything like that. So I think it's totally fine to email people. It's just make sure you take your time with the email. You get what I'm saying? Well, I I followed him for a few days. And he seemed like a cool dude. Because his page wasn't just about his filmmaking. He had a lot of personal tweets. So I knew that he was into sports, which I'm into sports as well. So okay, maybe we can connect on that. And I'm just peeping the scene. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really have to know who you're trying to get a feel for people as much as you can before you reach out to them. So I was like, okay, maybe this might be a good fit. I go to his website and there's a contact form on there. And the contact form, is asking you, why you're contacting. Seems like he's encouraged people to contact him about opportunities and stuff. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to go for it. I send a message. It's short and sweet, but says a lot, And I sent it. And I was proud of myself for doing it because I totally wanted to talk myself out of it. And I really just wanted to run and hide and find something else to do other than film. You get what I'm saying? Because it was just a lot. So I sent my message, and like 2 or 3 days later, his assistant reaches out to me. She asked me a couple questions. We kind of go back and forth, and she's like, he'd love to talk to you. You do have to sign a non-disclosure agreement and whatever, to protect whatever's going on if something does come out of this. And I'm like, okay, no problem. I read over it. I'm okay with the agreement. And she puts me in touch with him. We talk. He has a gang of energy. He's fired up. He has equipment. And he's ready to get to work. So I'm like, damn, like I wasn't expecting this out the gate. He was like, what, Rhonda, like, I respect the fact that you hit me up, that you weren't afraid to say what you wanted to do. So show me something. Give me some ideas or something. So I had a gang of ideas. And I'm going to be honest with y'all. I felt like the person that I was at this time in my life, that I wasn't going to be the person to see these ideas through. Number one, I didn't know where to start. But number two, I felt like I needed to be a part of something, like work at a production company or something, so that I could be held accountable for like deadlines and stuff. You get what I'm saying? Because I wasn't going to be setting those deadlines for myself. Because at this point, I was just sitting on ideas. They weren't scripts, So I gave him like 6 ideas. Why 6? I have no idea. I gave him a gang of ideas. I should have gave him like 3. So I give him my ideas, and he tells me the ones that he loves. And we talk about them. And he was like asking me questions about how certain things can happen and pan out. And he was like, okay, I like these 2 projects. Let's write. Let's go. So I was the writer. He was going to be the director, producer. And he was ready to go. So as long as I got the script done, he was ready to put out the projects. You know what I'm saying? So I was excited. Well, up until this point, I had taught myself everything about writing. I knew how to write, had a degree in writing, but not screenwriting. Screenwriting is different from, every other type of writing. So I'm reading books, trying to go over the formatting and stuff, and I will say that he taught me a lot about format. So what I would do is I would write out the script, send it over to him, and he would give me notes and feedback, and I would make revisions. And that was kind of like how what our routine was. I was just going back and forth. But it was moving fast though. Like I wasn't expecting to get to work like that. You know what I'm saying? I thought that I was gonna have to sit around, come to some meetings, check things out, be on set, watch this, watch that. He's like, no, let's get busy with the writing. I need some more content, some more material, more short films. He was like, I really want to take over the short film circuit. So I'm like, all right, cool, bet, let's do it. It's like I said, we writing back and forth. We just knocking projects out left and right. When I say knocking projects, I also mean that going through outlines and really making ideas full. You know what I'm saying? And that's where writing and going back and forth, and I'm getting his notes. I'm kind of noticing that some things I'm not really liking the way women are portrayed. And some of the things that, we're doing together. I would write them run one way, and he'd want to see the women a different type of way. So more submissive, needing a man, like that kind of thing. And I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she don't really need a man for this particular thing. She don't need nobody but herself. So we'd go back and forth or whatever. But since he was the one that was kind of steering the ship, I kind of went with the flow. You get what I'm saying? And then I was kind of noticing that things kind of were becoming overly like sexualized. And I'm like, like, I get it. Because the thing about a film, everything is supposed to be relevant. You don't just throw a sex scene in just to be doing it. There's a reason that it happens. You get what I'm saying? So I remember one particular project we was working on. There was a little raunchy scene in there, and there was a reason that it was in there. It was a short raunchy scene. He wanted it to be a longer raunchy scene and even raunchier. And I didn't really want to do it. I didn't, you know. And I started to feel some kind of way about it. And so we ended up just removing the scene altogether. Cool. So we keep on working. Keep on knocking projects out. We're in constant contact with each other, emailing, texting, talking on the phone for like weeks at a time. And, you know, I'm learning a lot. Like, I'm learning how the industry works. Like, I'm learning what this writing process is about, what pre-production is like, what production is going to look like and stuff, right? So we get to a point where he wanted to stop everything we were working on, and he wanted to make a lesbian film. Now, I don't know if he always wanted to, or if he wanted to move in that direction because I was into women. And he felt like he could tell an authentic story. So he gives me like what he'd like to see in this film, but let me just go wild with it and develop it myself, right? So I come up with the idea, come up with the characters, figure out the beginning, middle, and end. He loves it. And this project now becomes our priority at this point, right? So we're working on this lesbian project, and I'm knocking it out, doing my thing. I'm feeling very comfortable because I'm writing what I know, you know what I'm saying? And we get it done, and now it's time for us to actually do casting. And he includes me in the casting, which I was kind of surprised about. The writer is not always included in the casting. He includes me in the casting. We do like a digital casting. People sent in their auditions. They emailed them in. And as the women were sending their videos in, I knew who his clear favorites were, and they were good actresses, but they weren't right for the roles. You get what I'm saying? Like, they were good to be in it, but just a different character. So I made those suggestions to shift and shuffle things around a little bit. And I kind of noticed that he had an attitude about it. And I was just like, well, like, why make me a part of the process if you don't want to hear my feedback? Like, truly hear my feedback. You know what I'm saying? And when I was kind of starting to notice was that he had people around him who were yes men that always kind of went with the flow with him, didn't push back, and whatever he said was king, basically. You know, that's what I was noticing. So, you know, I wasn't uncomfortable about it or anything like that, but I'm like, you know, I'm explaining to him this is why the changes should be made, especially if you want to tell an authentic story. I'm speaking from the perspective of the community. You know? And I'm not saying that I'm an authority, but I'm saying I do know a lot about lesbian women. I do. And like their isms and mannerisms and the way things are said, how they're said, why they're said, when they're said. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could break all of that down because I've just been around. You know what I'm saying? So he finally, after I explained everything, understood where I was coming from, made the changes, and then was like, you know, Rhonda, like, I'm cool. Like, I like the changes. I understand, you know, where you're coming from. And it does actually feel better, you know, with these shifts and changes that were made. Cool. So this project is supposed to be underway, supposed to be going in production, right? So we're gearing up for the short film. Then I don't know what happened. Something happened with one of the main actors. It was like a scheduling conflict or something like that. So it gets put on hold. So we go back to the drawing board of another project. Go back to writing. I come up with this idea about bullying, but I took a whole different perspective on bullying. So he was like, damn, I like that. Go ahead and start writing. So I get to it. Boom, 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 boom. Because again, I feel like without me working for a production company and just me being on my own, I wasn't going to get stuff done. I wasn't going to follow through. I wasn't a real big follow through kind of person back then. Person that was about completion. It was like I needed somebody on my butt to get stuff done. You know what I'm saying? So working with him really kept me accountable to seeing those projects through. And we get this project done. I write it up, go back and forth for revisions. Cool, we're ready to go. Then he wanted to change something, really make a significant change in it. And I wasn't willing to make the change. And he was telling me why it needed to be changed. And I was like, it just doesn't make sense. You know, I can't do it. I felt like morally I couldn't do it. I just didn't like it. It didn't sit right with me. It wasn't a reason for, it was like a change with a mother of one of the kids. And it just didn't sit well with me for her to come off the way that he wanted her to be portrayed. It didn't make sense. And again, I wasn't in a space where I wanted to demean women, you know. And I've never been like that. So I tried to let it go, but I couldn't let it go, y'all. Like I had to keep pushing back about it. And I remember I had prayed about it, and I was like, you know what? In that prayer, what I took from it was that sometimes you're going to have to stand up for it and speak up, like the message was last week, to make sure you speak up on certain things. Speak up on what you wanted, what you need. And I wanted this character, I needed this character to be portrayed the way that I initially envisioned her for this to make sense. You know what I'm saying? Because the way he wanted her to be portrayed was going to even kind of take away from the bullying. You know what I'm saying? And the bullying was the center of the story. It was the essence of the story. You know what I'm saying? But it was the other side of like bullying. We were focused on the bully, like the life of a bully, you know what I'm saying? And like, because we're always usually focused on the child being bullied, but I wanted to actually highlight the life of the bully, you know what I'm saying? Like what's going on in a bully's household to make them be a bully, you know? And he was kind of taken away from that essence, you know what I'm saying? And I had to put my foot down about it. And let me tell you something. He politely asked me to leave. And I had to be okay with that. I was like, okay, cool. I'm not going to sit around and allow this story to go a direction it shouldn't go and just give in. It's not the right thing. It don't feel right. I know it's not right. And I was like, cool. I'm like, if he's like, yeah, Ron, if you're not willing to make the change, I'm going to have to ask you to just kind of walk away. I was like, cool. I'm like, walk away from everything? He was like, from everything. So I did that. I took some of my scripts with me. He kept the bully story. He kept the lesbian story. And I was fine with that. I was ready to take that L. That's just how it is. You know, because I did have agreements in place that gave him the right to those projects. I learned a lot about writing, about pre-production, production, being on set, agreements. That was my first agreement I'd ever signed. But more importantly, like I said, I learned that some things you got to stand up for certain things, and some things you just can't be willing to budge. Because it's a moral thing. It's whatever your values are. If that conflicts with that, you got to speak up on that. You got to say something about it. You can't just sit back and be a part of something that you don't believe in. You know, that just don't add up. You know, like for me, all money ain't good money. And I'm like, I'll wash my hands of this project gladly. And you can have it and take my name off of it. Because you know what? I came up with this idea. And I can honestly come up with a million more. You know, I can sit back and think of something else. You know, now that I've had this experience, my mind was racing. I had a gang of ideas at that point. So that was my very first experience in the film industry. And I remember walking away and, let's see, we worked together for about 6 months. Probably got about 5 or 6 projects done. I'm talking about scripts. You know, it was good. It was a good overall experience, you know. But I also realized in him, too, that he was used to people saying yes to him and not standing up to him. And I didn't, again, like the way that women were portrayed in some of the stories. And I wasn't going to sit around and be a part of that anyway. I think that our time was coming to an end at some point anyway. I was trying to give them the benefit of the doubt, but I was like, all this overly sexualized stuff that women have to be and all this stuff and all that. Like, I'm like, it's too much for me. You know what I'm saying? Because it only had to be all that. But anyways, he's still filmmaking. We haven't had contact since 2011, I don't think. Maybe we talked once or twice, but We haven't talked since then. And he's still doing short films, still knocking out short films left and right. I haven't seen any of them. But somebody had brought one of his films to my attention, you know, at one point. And I was like, oh, I used to work with him. Like, that's my first start in the industry, you know. And that's how it is, though, too. When somebody is running the show and has their own production company, that's how it is. You can call the shots. You can portray characters however you want. You know what I'm saying? Through your lens, pretty much. And yeah, so that's how it is. When you the boss, you can do what you want to do. So that is my story of me being that one time I was asked to leave a project, and I gladly obliged because I wasn't willing to put, you know, who I am and what I stand for on the line. So anyways, that's that. I think I'm gonna tell you maybe 1 or 2 more stories about filmmaking and about how I, you know, did certain things or whatever, things I was a part of. So hopefully you enjoyed the story time. Happy Taco Tuesday. Like I said, if you guys are around at 5, 7, or 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, come through the IG Shirley Girl Boutique. I will drop the IG below. And come celebrate with Mom. Come celebrate with Auntie Nieecee. And, you know, just come show her some love if you are around. So, all right, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. I appreciate you. I'll be back maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow or Thursday for sure. All right, y'all. Thank you so much. Be good to yourself. Peace. Let's go ahead and get started with these breakfast tacos. I want to show you the veggies that I used. I sauteed some mushrooms, spinach, and onion. This is olive oil over medium heat. I'm going to show you in just a second what I seasoned it with. I used low sodium all-purpose seasoning by Spiced Up by Dominique. If you like this seasoning, you know it's my favorite. The link is below in the description box. I also used some pink Himalayan salt. And these just have a great combo of flavor. I really love them together. Let's move on to the good part, though, the taco shell. So I took a block of cheese, cheddar cheese, grated it up because it melts down better to me. This is in a skillet, medium heat. There's no butter, no oil. And this is what it'll start to look down once that cheese melts. You'll see that it starts to crisp up and turn brown on the edges. So what you'll want to do is use a spatula to scrape the cheese up and get it all the way around. And just take your time and be patient with it. And then I also use the spatula to form the taco shells. So I put the cheese, I flip it on there, let it sit for a minute, and it'll start to form just like that taco shell did. In a couple of minutes, this one will form and just hold the form on its own. And this is the finished product. These are the tacos. So I put the mushrooms and everything inside. I put eggs, tomato. I added some cilantro, avocado, topped it with sour cream, and voila. It's easy peasy. So if you do try it, I hope you enjoyed as much as I did.
I be beaming, I be booming down that block. Everywhere you go, you know they know I'm hot.